Hello everyone, it's Monika and welcome to my YouTube channel. I know that some of you were asking about this rosette here on this card, and I promised that I'm going to do a step-by-step tutorial how I did it. So here I am, and I'm going to show you how to create this card. Actually, I made this card yesterday just to remind myself how I created the sample I sent off to Crafter's Companion, because it was, I think, over a month ago when I was sitting and thinking, okay, what am I going to do with this corner punch? And I was playing with it because I had another product which I was playing as well, and it was actually rosette die. So inspiration came with from another product, so that's why I tried to create something very similar, and it worked out. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So first of all, I'm going to take a card blank which measures 14.5 centimeters by 14.5, then a mat which measures 14 centimeters by 14, and then a layer measures 13.5 by 13.5, so 5 millimeters, decreasing by 5 millimeters. And this one, I think it's 7 centimeters by 12.5. So this one is 6.5 centimeters by 12. Okay, if you're still not sure about the measurements, I can actually write it down in the comments if you want me to. So if you're not sure, then ask me, or maybe I can actually write it down, so when I will be punching, you can actually see and write it down for yourself. So base 14 by 14.5, mat 14 by 14, and then next one 13.5 by 13.5, and this strip is, I said, 12.5 by 7. It's all in centimeters. Let me double check. 12.5 by 7. So meaning this one will be 12 by 6.5, and we need 3 squares measuring 6 by 6 centimeters times 3. So we need 3 of those. So you can now do a screenshot if you want. And now I'm going to work with those squares. So we need 3 of those squares measuring 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters. If you want to create a bigger rosette, try with for example 7 by 7, 8 by 8. I haven't tried it, so I'm not sure how is it going to look like, but I think it should work. Maybe you will need to use all 3 squares, because for this one you will need, as you will see in a minute, you will need 2 squares and actually 1 of that corner. So I am punching. I'm using that fleur de lis, I think that's the one, corner punch. I'm going to link everything below the video so you can check it out. So you need to punch all 4 corners, and as you can see, it's pretty fast. And I'm using collection a paper pad, a 6x6 paper pad called Beginning of Spring, and this one was actually a free paper pad which Crafter's Companion was giving away, I think during I think it was birthday, Crafter's Companion's birthday, I'm not sure, but it's a Beginning of Spring. That's the paper. And I'm using pearlescent card as well, which is called Spring Sorbet, and it has those beautiful pearlescent cards. This one is 12 by 12. What else? I'm going to use a ribbon. I can't remember, actually it's not a ribbon, it's seam binding ribbon, and this one is from Crafters Companion. I can't remember from which collection, but I will find out and I'm going to let you know in the description box below. And I stamped Happy Birthday, which is a stamp by Crafters Companion as well. It's from Year of Craft, old stamp, but I liked the size, and it's perfect for my project. And I'm using Lavender Eyes water reactive ink to stamp this. I think it goes well together, so I think it should work, because I didn't have any more of those papers. So I thought, okay, I'm going to create a different one. So I'm moving away all those things, and I need a scoreboard. And now what we're going to do, can you see that little tip, like a little corner? We're going to score across all those points. So you will see that what I have in the center of my scoreboard, I've got a darker line. You can use a black marker, and it actually helps to do those score lines. And that's what I'm going to do. I think I will do it on the other side. So, and because it's pearlescent card, I haven't done this with pearlescent card, and because of I'm going to glue it together with liquid glue, it's going to take a little bit time to dry. So I'm going to do the rosette first, and then, and that's what I was doing when I was thinking, okay, what shall I do? What shall I do with this corner punch? I was just scoring. I just had a piece of, I can't even remember why I took 6 by 6 centimeters, and I just started to, I punched the corners and I started to score it. And as you can see, I hope you can see. So you score across from one point, goes to the other one. You see, I've missed one. I'm going to do it now. Now I can see it. Yes, I've got all of them. So from one point across to the other one, then from here to here, and you have to do all of them, and then you do the cross in the middle, and that's how you do it. You can do a screenshot if you're not sure, and if you want to keep it for later, because it's a pearlescent card. Yes, it's not that easy to see. So let me do the second one. I'm doing exactly the same with the second one, so I am actually doing it, trying to do it fast, so you don't have to watch me do this. So as I said, you need 2 squares, and you will actually need only 1 bit from the third one. And I think if you're going to try to do a bigger size, you might need, I'm actually curious how it's going to be with the bigger size of a square. And I'm sure I will actually do it later on, because I'm really curious. I think because I need to see it, I have to actually make it, because I cannot really process it in my head at the moment. So yes, that's what I'm going to do after this video. And because I know that I will need only that one, I'm not going to bother with all the score lines. So I can put away my scoreboard, and now we can do burnishing. So you have to fold it nicely, because I think it's quite important that if you fold it nicely as well, and you burnish every single one of them in a straight way, then it should work even better, because you will see that it can be a little bit fiddly. And I hope you can see everything, because I think it's getting late, and I hope I will manage to do it before the sun will go properly down. And because it's quite this one is actually 240 GSM, maybe it's actually not very good idea to start with a thick card. And remember to do all the score lines. So what I'm going to do, I will do the score lines off camera quickly, and then I will come back and show you how to maneuver everything into place and which sections to cut. So I scored and burnished every single score line, and I'm just trying to see which one is the front, which one is the back. But you see, this sponge is so good that you can't really see it. So what you need to do, you've got those two corners, so you have to do see, I forgot about this one. Maybe you need to create a valley over here, and you're going to glue that together, and then you're going to do the same. But first, what we're going to do, because we need to make sure that we can fold it nicely, you're going to cut into the center. So you've got this, and then you can see that you can fold it, and that's how we're going to create that rosette. And then another tip, it's all up to you if you want to, for example, cut a little bit off here, because this way you will see through those punched spaces. If you look over here, I did not cut that bit off, and you can see the paper underneath it. So it's all up to you. Over here, it's your decision if you want to cut this off or not. So, but I'm going to cut it off. So I'm cutting, I'm not thinking too much how much I need to cut. I just need to cut a little bit, and I need to throw this away. And then we're going to do the same with this one. That's our second, and the same, folding and pushing to the side. Try to push those into one side, so it will create this kind of pattern. And you can put it flat and burnish again. Don't have to worry about the center, because we're going to put the sentiment. If you're using a card which has a white center, for example, you can see here, you can use ink to mask that. And then, okay, let's glue it together. It's going to be a bit tricky because I've got a pearlescent card, but I will try to use my wooden pegs to hold everything in place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my pegs to hold everything. So I'm doing this one first. That's kind of a half of my rosette, and I'm going to do the second one. So I'm working on that second square. You can see that it's actually quite fast. So you see, you will have something like this, and it looks nice as well like that. Actually, yeah, let me see. Maybe that's something new we just discovered together. So when you lay it flat, it has this shape. Maybe you like it as well. So it's all up to you how you create, how you craft, and as long as you're happy with it, you don't have to think about what other people will think. You just tell them that that's the way I wanted to create this project, and that's it. I think it's actually not very nice if someone comments on our creativity. It's our own creativity, and yeah, that's my opinion. So I'm doing the second square now, adding a little bit of glue. I hope that one is already adhered properly. And I love those wooden pegs because they actually are so handy in my craft corner. I think I need another one, and I don't have another one. Hopefully this one is okay now. Okay. Oh, this one is not holding well. What I'm going to do, I've got this another thing I can use. I've got my, where is my butterfly? Yeah, I've got like a paperweight, and I'm going to use that. So I can use the pegs on this one, and I'm adding that one bit, one corner from that third square. I hope you actually have seen me cutting that one off. and don't have to worry about the glue coming out. It will be all covered by that sentiment. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my card together, and I'm going to show you how I created those corners. So I need those 2 layers first. So that's your last chance to do a screenshot and write down those measurements. So we've got a base, mat, and layer. So again, this one is from that pearlescent paper pad spring sorbet. Yes, that's the one. As I said, I'm going to link everything below the video so you can check out the products if you want to create something very similar. Maybe you're going to pick different colors, and if you create a card like this, I would love to see it. So even if you don't have any YouTube and you don't post on YouTube, there are other social medias you might use. So if you want to share, find me on social media, and or send me an email. My email address is below the video in the description box. So if you want to share, and I would love to see if you're going to create something based on my tutorial, I would love to see it. And if you want to learn different card folds, we are actually having a collaboration, and we are creating Fancy Fold. It's actually hashtag Fancy Fold Craft Challenge 2023. So if you want to see that one, and we've got a Facebook group which is called a Fancy Fold Craft Challenge. I'm going to link everything below the video as well if you are interested in joining into our little really small community, but community which has so many nice kind people, and I love small communities actually. You know people by name, and there is no much fuss. Okay, and now, because you can see that I've got that panel over those punched corners, and you probably will find something in your stash like I don't know, maybe small washi tape or something else. I actually use this little pot I have with some pearls inside, and I use this one, but I think you could use something like, or cutting die, or something like a top from some like a little bottle. So hold that in place, take something round, and just use a pencil and draw those corners. Or maybe you've got a cutting die, or you want to use a cutting die. Try to experiment, try to look for something else in your stash. Try to avoid using tools. I'm trying not to put the head into the shot, but it's not easy to actually, I think this one is way too big. It's hard to see actually with that pearlescent card, and this one is even too big. Okay, I will try to maneuver with my, let me see. It's not going to be even, but I think I could do a little bit better. Yes, I'm happy with this one. I think I have to get up and try to see from above. Yes, because when I was creating that card, of course I wasn't recording, so I could actually see. Okay, I'm going for it. I'm actually going to cut a little bit less off than my pencil mark to see maybe it's going to be better fit. Let's see. But I really like this project, and I was really so happy that actually people appreciated that something different and wanted to see this rosette. Yeah, if you want to try it, maybe I could give you a tip to use just normal paper, not pearlescent paper, because it can be a bit tricky, as you could see with the gluing, because yes, And now let me just erase those pencil marks so you can actually see that it looks really nice. And if you use a paper which has bigger contrast with your mat, then you will see it much better. But I think it's nice. I like it. Yeah, can you see? So we've done this part. Let me erase a little bit more of that. I know that it's going to be a bit longer video, but if you want to, it's like step-by-step classes. I actually would love to do some Zoom classes, or I don't know, I just miss chatting with people while creating, and I think that would be so nice. It would be really nice to actually, even online, but to be able to chat with other people. So yeah. Have you ever done any face-to-face classes in your life, in your craft journey? Because I did, and it was so nice, and that's why I miss it now. I was actually looking for something, and I was actually thinking about doing my own classes, but it's not easy, and actually it can be a bit expensive as well to hire a place. But if it's going to happen, it will happen. If it's meant to be, it will happen one day. Okay, so we're going to adhere that panel. I hope you can still see everything. And yeah, I think the flowers are going right way up. As you can see on this card, there is not a big contrast between the papers like on, for example, this one. But the design, the layout is the same. So let's, okay, let me put this one first, and then I will see how my my rosette is actually, if it's adhered already or not. I hope it is, because otherwise it's going to be another little bit of weight. Hopefully not a disaster, but at least you've seen how to put the rosette together, so it should be fine. I hope you can follow the instructions, and you will be able to do your own. And please, if you do, then just share it with me, share it with others, tag me into the post if you know me. Yes, and that would be really nice. I think I've said it many times before that I love looking at other people's works and how people create, especially if I can actually touch it and feel it. So yes, that's the one. Let me see on my sample. I think this one, yeah. So I think it will look nice. What I will do, I'm still waiting for this one. I think I will do a bow. So I've got, I hope it's enough. It's about 23 centimeters long. It's about 2 centimeters thickness. So what I'm doing, I'm putting my index fingers and then creating a bow. Oh, it's quite short, I think, but I will try to maneuver it in a way that it will work for me. So you do 2 loops, and then you put it inside. It's a bit fiddly because the ribbon is quite short, but still I want to use it. And you try to hold the tail and those tails whilst you're pushing that ribbon through. Let's see. I think it's going to be okay. Yeah, and I'm trying to hold those tails with my fingers, and yeah, it's not easy, but I think we can do it. I'm not pulling straight away. I'm trying to put my thumbs inside the loops, and this way I can maneuver them a bit better. Oh no, maybe I'm not going to do it because this one is quite small. So I'm not trying to pull it straight away, very strongly, because then it's going to be all not really pretty. But I think this one is, and then you see which side is looks nicer, and then you decide. Yeah, that's the problem, that it's not always easy to create those bows. I do have that tool with those 2 pegs, but I don't know where it is now, and I always try to do it myself, and usually it works. So I need to get my scissors for the ribbon, because I try to use different scissors for ribbon and different for tape, because otherwise it just, you're asking for trouble. Because if you're trying to cut a ribbon with the same scissors as you use for tape, then it can be a bit sticky. So okay, this one is done. I like it, and this one is done as well. I'm putting those things away. And then we're going to join those two to create. So as I said, you need 2 squares and 1 of that element to create it. And I will actually try to use a hot glue gun for this. Don't try it at home, maybe, because for speed, I know I used the wrong paper. And yes, if you want to use hot glue gun, then add just tiny little bit of glue. You don't want to see that glue on your project, so it's like a little dot. And now you just try to maneuver everything into place. You can use your score tool, and let me see, I'm going to add some foam tape, and I think I'm going to push those to the side and use the hot glue. And this is very important that you actually score those lines correctly, because as you can see, it created like a little hat. But if you actually use your bone folder, you just press it down, it should go into correct places. Yes, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add here this one first. This one, this PVA glue, it wasn't actually strong enough, so let me put some hot glue. Oh, and remember not to burn your fingers. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to use hot glue gun on this sentiment, and need to put it into the center. And then you can press this down, and this one will help to maneuver that rosette into place. See, looks really nice. And I can see that the video is really long. So if you don't want to see those white bits, and I will actually use maybe alcohol marker to touch up that color a little bit. But because of the time, I'm going to actually add it to my project, and I will do it off camera later on. So let me just add a little bit of, I think I need some foam pad on one side, just to make sure that this, see, I need to add it here. So I'm going to add it here. And a little bit of liquid glue. And I think I'm going to use the hot glue, if I have enough. It always happens, isn't it? When you're trying to record, there's always something happening, and this is me trying to push a bit more. Okay, it has to be enough. Yeah, I think it's straight. Yes, and now actually I need more hot glue. Actually, when I was looking at this bow, I decided that it actually does not match that well with my project. So I went and looked for this one, and I think it will look better. So what do you think? No, I don't like this one. So I think I'm going to use the purple one, because I had another one, but I think this one is way too dark. So let me go for this one. My hot glue gun is ready. And yes, this simple project with corner punch is ready, and I hope you like it. I like the colors, I really like the collection, so I think it's really pretty. And which one would you pick, this one or that one? The purple or the mint green? So let me know, how do you find this project? Is it easy? Do you think you would use it? Or maybe it's not your cup of tea and you would prefer just normal standard cutting die, quick and simple. So let me know, what do you think about it? And thank you so much for watching, for your comments, for your likes and subscriptions, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.